Alright. Ooh. Alright. So first things first, whenever possible, you want to save shield, right? So, a lot of Rein is moving from like corner to like cover to cover, and that way like you can like keep your shield down for as much as possible. In this case, right, your cover is either the payload or the corners next to the payload, where you can basically contest the cart by just like LOSing every half second or so, right? So you just like jiggle peek the cart, right, and that provides, and you're close enough at that point to contest it, right? Um, so for you, right, like the thing is, you got to touch the cart because no one else can, right? That's your job. So in this case, right, the cart's coming in, right? I understand there's pressure, but you're taking a step back here when you really don't want to, right? You got to keep moving forward, get to this corner or this corner as fast as you can. This one's probably the best LOS, right, for like not dying relative to the enemy team because they're oriented this way, right? So if you hide here, they can shoot you and it can get ugly, right? But if you hide over here, they can't shoot you, so it's all good, right? But you want to get here as fast as you can, right? And you don't want to stop until you get there, right? Um, this is a big problem we have with the team as well in general, is that like there's a lot of like stopping and trying to like wait to see if we're good, right? But like the Rein just needs to keep walking forward until he gets where he wants to be, right? And nothing can stop him until he gets there. And once he gets there, right, then you can reassess whether or not you want to aggressively push, whether or not you have the resources to do that, right? But until you get there, you got to keep going, right? Yeah. So like again, right? You stop holding W, right? The cart touches like caps before you're able to touch, right? And then meanwhile, your shield's about to break, so your retreat's going to get really ugly in a second because you're probably going after retreat here. Although realistically, if I was in your shoes, I would just try and hold this corner anyways, even though the cart cap, because like this is still a relatively good position to hold. It's just a lot better if like if their spawn is back there as opposed to right here. But yeah, if you try to retreat now with this kind of shield, you're probably just gonna die. Yeah, do you see how like you held your shield here? You didn't do anything with it. You didn't hide behind cover. You didn't like make a play with the shield. So like we talked about this with Sig like briefly, but like shields aren't replacements for cover. They augment cover and they can provide like temporary cover when you're moving from place to place, right? But realistically, that shield's not for your team. That shield is for you. Okay? Like the shield is useful, right? And you can use it for teammates. But if you use it only for teammates and not for yourself, your team's always going to be like playing from a deficit, right? The shield realistically is to get you in a position you want to be, right? And then you fight for it and you hold it down with your shield and your body and all that good stuff, right? But like if you just shield teammates, right? You're putting a lot of trust in your teammates to actually shoot things in an efficient way, like more efficient than like the shield that you're giving up for free, right? Um, and even if like you trust your teammates, like you never just want to give up shield for free, right? So in this case, you took 1.5 junk clips basically, um, and now your shield's like gone, right? So let's watch that back. You come back. It's your shield. You're just taking shots, right? You're even doing your best to catch all the spam, really. And now you have no shield, right? So if I were you, I'd get to this corner as fast as you can and try and swing on this Rein while trying to dodge as many shots as I can. Because like realistically, if that junk isn't shooting your shield, what are the chances he actually hits at someone behind you, right? They're like he has like a reasonable chance, but it's not like a crazy. And also, if like you don't want the junk to shoot your teammates, the best way to stop that, right, is just walk over here and like with your shield, right? Or face tank some shots and just try to push the junk out, right? Like just physically like body him out of position, force him back to his team, and now the angle of the junk is going to have is massively reduced, and he can't like shoot your team very well, right? So this is an important skill for off tank, but it's also important for Rein because you can't trust your off tank to always do this, right? Um, and like this is especially important for his off tank because like see how the Zarya is like pushing the junk out, and the Zarya did this earlier, right? Then this junk would just not have this many free shots on your shield, right? And you'd be less pressured, right? Which is why it's so important for off tanks to do this, and why like off tanks in general, as a role, like this transfers relatively easily because every off tank in the world needs to do this. D.Va, Zarya, Roadhog, Sig, they all do this to varying degrees, and the ways they do it are slightly different. That's kind of cool. Um, but they all need to do that, right? But again, if you're playing Reinhardt and you see that's an issue, right? You just need to do that yourself, right? Because you can't trust your Zarya necessarily to do that. If you watch LH Cloudy on Twitch, that's what he's always doing. He's always just pushing off angles. Right, so you see how you're not playing natural cover, right? You're not trying to play this pillar, you're not trying to play this corner, you're not trying to like eat back up and play this wall, right? You're just standing in the open, you're eating discord damage, right? And so you're trying to preserve shield, which is good, but you're preserving shield at the expense of all your regular HP because you're not actually like you're just not avoiding damage very well in general, right? So, like the soldier pounds you, this forces your shield and the bubble and the Valk, right? And you're still giving ground, right? You're not even holding your space down. Again, if you see a lot of stuff going on over here and you don't like that, just literally walk over here and stop them from using it yourself, right? This is your new spot if you hold this spot, right? And you like prevent anyone from realistically holding out here, or else you shove them, right? And then like you're just trying to anchor the defense from this side of the point, right? So again, don't this came up on King's Row as well. Remember, like if like your Rein is holding main, you want your Zarya holding the other side, right? If your Rein is holding this side, then you put your Zarya holding main. For a lot of people, main comes much more naturally because they're just used to it and they don't really like thinking and stuff like that, right? So you need to make sure that if no one else is doing it, at the very least you're doing it, right? No matter what character you're on the tank role, anyways. I mean, don't do it as ball or something, but you know, you get the idea. Like this Junkrat, he's pushing on the flank, right? And he's not being controlled, right? And that's something that like you need to like not allow to happen. All right, so Zarya pushed it, right? It immediately gets a kill, right? That's how strong this is, right? And you can be the one getting the kill too. It's good with the shield to block person who has an angle. Alright, but now that like you're not committing to holding this spot, right? You decide you're not going to hold this arch, right? Which is fine. The card's not here anymore, so it's like less good, right? You got to get off the bridge, right? Because what the problem with the bridge, right, is there's no cover. How did that Rein just die, right? How did the other Rein just die? He charged out to here, and he held shield all the way from here, all the way back to here, and still died, right? He literally didn't do anything aggressive once he ended up on the bridge, and your team just like walked at him and shot him until he ran out of shield and died, right? And that's exactly what's going to happen to you now, because you're standing on the middle of the bridge exactly where he is, and your distance to cover is exactly the same, right? It's going to get ugly if you stay here. Alright, now you have no shield, and like you want that shield to be 200 health or so when you're back here and about to LOS it, right? You want your shield breaking, like if you're going to like burn all your shield and you need to get out, you want your shield to be breaking, right? As you're about to like break LOS, right? And that way you'll be safe, right? But now you have nothing you can add, right? All right, got an 800 shield back. Again, you just like tanking damage. That's not inherently a bad thing, but it's not that good here. All right, now instead of holding the spot originally, where you can just LOS everything and just not take damage, now you're spending shield to walk forward, right? You see how like that works, right? You wasted a lot of shield here. You took a bunch, like about 5-6 seconds of damage while you're waiting for your shield to recharge, right? And then once you finally get your shield charged, you like to halfway, you use it all to get to this point again, right? Whereas you could have just held this point or backed up earlier, and this problem could have been avoided, right? So when you're trading, you want to be careful about the LOS you're giving the enemy team, right? So in this case, right? Sure, there's not really anyone down here, and I think you knew that, which is like makes what you're doing more acceptable, right? So like there's no one here, so you're not really exposing yourself to a concave, right? But then like when you turn around, when you push this corner, right? Do you see how like this Zarya and this Rein could both shoot you, right? Or I guess the Rein says he's hitting you, right? But like the point is you're taking damage from two people, right? This Rein is only taking damage from you. Do you see how like this works, right? So if you want to hit him, right? You want to hit him using the corner as much as you can, right? And you just come out to give him like the swing hitbox, and then you go back, right? Because the swing has like a live hitbox, right? So as soon as the hitbox is live, you hit him with it by swing. Oh, I went too far. By swinging around the corner, and then you juke back, right? And you just kind of I'll give you an example. This is like core Rein tech, so I guess I'll show it. But you just want to like there's a decent corner. All right, so if I want to swing on somebody here, I just give him this, right? And that way I spend less time actually getting hit, right? Oh, I have it on my volume. Okay, so that's something you wanted. Oh, wrong button. That's something you need to get really used to because it's like again, it's like really important to take less damage as Rein, right? Just get really used to this and like making this like really clean. I'm not even that good at it, honestly. But like this, just doing this and getting to corner will probably take you to diamond. I'll be honest. Just being aggressive, going corner to corner, and once you get to the corner that you like, you hold it like this, right? It's so strong. People have no idea how to deal with this, right? The better you get this, the less damage you take. Also, you can like apply double hits, right? Where like you can sort of like start the swing and then clip them at the very end of it, right? It's a lot easier like trying to walk into someone, I guess. So that one was not so good. Hang on, I'm not very good at this. Yeah. So do you see how I get like 2 hits there on that guy with the, like the tail end of the swing, right? So the closer you get that in timing, the more burst damage it is. And also, like, again, the less time you just spend close to the enemy Reinhardt, so the other Rein doesn't perfectly, like, space and time his swings as well, right? Then you're getting 2 hits to his 1, and you back off and do it again, right? I'm not very good at it, though, but that's too early. Alright, try it again. No, hang on. Okay, that one sucked. Kind of like that. I mean, you can get it tighter than that for sure. Yeah, that one was better, right? So it was like 2 right against each other, right? And it's just way more burst damage. Yeah, stuff like that. Timing wasn't great, but you get the idea. Replays, where are you? Is that... I don't remember which game that was. Rialto? I think it was Rialto.
Welcome to reality. Ready for battle.
Alright, where were we? I think this is... I overshot it. Hang on, what's going on with my mic? There's... maybe this is better. Okay. Alright, so we're here, right? Okay, this isn't it. Hang on. Alright, so this is where you, I imagine, push the right? Okay, before then? How long is this sequence? How long were you guys on this bridge? Was it before this? When do you push this Rein? Okay, here's the where the Rein dies. Alright, cool. There's the Ana. You're gonna push the Rein in a couple seconds. You have your shield back. Speed sliders, please. Alright. Okay, you're gonna push the Rein now. Yep, okay. We talked about like why this like you peek why peeking wide is inefficient, right? And generally not good. That's not you. Right? And like he basically, even though you had a big health advantage on him early on, plus you got the first swing, right? He just destroys you with like he manages to beat you. And also notice how like when he dies, right? Where did he die here? Right? He did the exact same thing. He pushed out wide in the corner we didn't have to, right? So like right, so you spend this time peeking, right? And he's sitting there swinging. And then he walks out, right? To get that kill and dies, right? You get res though. You just gotta help your teammates as well. I saw this when I was going back, but like, when you got a team up there, right? If they die, you lose the fight anyways, right? So if you die with them, not a big deal, right? So it's better to try and help teammates and die, than let them die and just like have no impact on the fight, right? Because you at least have more control over the way you die, right? And your own skill and your own mechanics to like carry you through the situation, right? Plus, like just in general, like teammates are force amplifiers, right? So one teammate doing one thing is one thing, but 2 people doing something is way stronger than 1 person, like way beyond 2 people, right? And then 3 people is even more, right? So the more help you provide, like the stronger your team will do overall. this is why like characters like Lucio and Rein can still carry in ranked, like even though like their design isn't like doesn't seem like the most carry-ish, because like Lucio in particular, right? He just like runs around, or Diva for example, for that matter, right? Like they don't carry in the most direct way like a Zarya would, for example, just like by killing people and like doing tons of damage and then having like big team fight setups, right? Set like fight winning ults with grab, etc. But what Lucio can do is he can be anywhere at any time, whenever he wants, right? So whenever he realizes a moment, like whenever there's like a 1v1, Lucio can just run in and settle it, right, for his team. With like a lot of ways, he can boop to mess up shots. He can provide his own damage, which is pretty good at close range. He has like auras and amp. Like he has a lot of tools for winning 1v1s, right? And like trying to force 1v1s as Lucio, not the best, right? But taking a 1v1 that one of your teams is already fighting and making a 2v1, that's super strong, right? And Diva's much the same way. Diva can do a lot of different things, and like but one of the biggest things she's strongest at is like just out dueling people, right? So like sure you don't have the most damage in the world compared to Zarya. Sure your ult isn't the most team fight setup, right? But if like someone's on your backline and you DM them and then you boop them and then you shoot them, like they're either dead or they have to leave, right? And very few characters can actually do that like reliably. And same thing with Lucio, right? Rein is like a bit more carry because he is just like big damage, but you know, all these like quote unquote supportive characters like have their own ways of carrying, if just by like making enough good reads in a row. Again, you took 800 shield when you didn't have to. Again, like play a cover, play a position, right? Play this. It doesn't matter. This one's probably better, but again, it doesn't matter. Just don't play this, right? This is bad. Although I guess you guys are on this bridge for like, I don't know, a full minute and a half, but what is that nano? You should be looking to fire strike that generally, like at least early on, right? Just like look to see where he's piloting if you see it, right, and then try and like catch it on a doorway or like whatnot with the fire strike, and then put your shield up, right? But don't try to just stand there and hold shield and hope that it doesn't like that someone else kills it before it gets to you, because like generally the answer is no. Like at least take a chance on killing it, right, before you try and play up your shield. Again, like you're just holding shield, you're not really doing anything. You're taking a lot of unnecessary shield damage. Again, help your teammates. When this guy's out here, right, I want to see you like if you think about it, Zarya and Rein have the same move speed. You even have charge, so technically you can be faster if you want to be. How did your Zarya create this much separation between you and her, right? This is because she held W and you didn't like back her up, right? You got to read what your teammate's doing and try to catch up with them to give them shield, right? Or like help with your body, right? But like you're backing up here, right? Like sure she's dead, right? But you're not even trying to help her, right? Do you see how that works? Your team's dead, so okay, you gotta get out earlier than that. Yeah, there's definitely room to escape there if you want to. Dying card's also okay, but like whenever you die as card as tank with full health, and you have the option to get out, that's when it's not so good, because like you're feeding a lot of ult. But you know, not the end of the world. All right, again, don't do this. Do this. Okay, so in this case, you're blocking, you're shielding for the res, which is good. But as soon as this res is done, I want to see you like hiding behind these walls, right? And then maybe walking up and trying to get a swing. So you can disguise your entrance, like, or not your entrance, but like you closing the gap for swings by like walking in this way, right? And you can like land the swing as you get close, get a second swing, right? And then duck behind the corner and be safe again, right? And that's really strong. This Ryan's shield is running out, so the clock's on him to make a play happen, because you have shatter and you just need to wait out his shield really. But like, see how you guys are trading shield and your shield's dying at like a rate that's pretty comparable to his, maybe even faster, right? So you get a shatter, right? But do you see how you got that shatter? Because he just stood here holding shield and not doing anything, like hiding behind cart to rest the shield, hiding like behind these things that are rest shield as well. And even though you get the shatter and like it directly leads to a kill and it was like 5-man and it was great and forced trans, right? It only happened because he was dumb, right? And in the meantime, while you're waiting for that to happen, you almost lost your own shield, right? That's the thing I want to emphasize, right? In that time it took you to like wait for him to like kill himself with stupidity, like while you're looking at his cracking shield, your shield actually almost died, right? Your shield went down to 500 HP, right? If they just put a little more damage in, Or if they like this Rein had done a little, just even like a marginally better protecting your shield, you actually would have had your shield broken first, and he also has shatter, so this would have been the same thing going the other way, right? So again, preserve your shield and like find ways to get close to them so you can swing without using your shield. Or spend the shield to get close, and then use the time swinging at them to rest your shield, right? This is going to sound odd, but when there's something happening on your side like that, and your shield is going to protect your teammates, don't angle the shield to look at the guy you're looking at, right? So when you look at the guy visoring right here, through the right here, if you think about it, you turn the shield slightly. So this came up slightly with the grab where you're just kind of looking at people and you weren't actually looking where your shield was. But when you're looking, right, your shield turns, right, and that actually reduces the coverage that you're shielding because like it'll be turned this way, right? So it'll, like kind of like be this kind of line, right? I guess as opposed to like this kind of line, right? So it just blocks less, right? So if you're trying to shield teammates from ults, right, you need to like track them with your peripheral vision, right, and then watch your shield to make sure it's angled the right way, right? So in this case, like pushing the shield out closer to the soldier would actually block more overall LOS, right? And if he tries to run through your shield, then you keep angling the shield further and further back, so that way he has to keep running through the shield, right? And this applies to grabs as well. Make sure like you're actually covering the people in the grab, not they just holding shield, right? Right? You see how like you angle the shield back here, right? And maybe there might be someone here who might need the shield, right? So just like keep an eye on where your teammates is and whether or not your shield's actually protecting them. Your shield's broken though, so please use it. Better cover, right? Yeah, just in general, you're just not being very aggressive with your hammer, which is something I'd like to see more, right? Like I like this move to go help your Zarya on the right side, right? But like, if I were you, like I would just keep going and trying to see if I can get like a swing or two while I'm using this cover, right? To LOS Zarya, like or whoever was over here, I don't remember who. I would try and see if I could hit someone once or twice, right? Because like if you think about it, right? Rein does 85 damage a swing, right? Normal people have 200 health. If you hit them once, you're taking off almost half their health with one swing, right? And it requires like almost no mechanical input. It's super easy, right? And there's like tech you do get if you like land a double hit, right? Or you just like hit them twice, they're almost dead. If they take any other kind of damage, they die, right? So especially in these situations where it's like, if you can land a hit on a squishy, right? They can oftentimes be fight winning because they take so much damage from it. So try and find opportunities for that whenever you can. Now again, you're face tanking shield, right? Now look, right? This guy Shatter, he's coming in. His team is more or less regrouped, right? Not fully, but they're regrouping. And you have 0 shield, like actually almost 0. And by 0, I mean 75. Same thing. So you're resting shield now, but like, what if his team was a bit more grouped up and ready to go right now, right? He could just walk around the corner and Shatter. You would have no options, right? Again, you're holding shield when you don't have to, right? You're also creating separation between you and the Zarya, right? At the very least, hold here and like prevent the Rein from like walking into your Zarya. This Rein is like also equally unaggressive, which is why the Zarya's getting away with this. But if the Zarya would just like realize what was going, if this Rein realized what was going on, he could just walk out and hit your Zarya. And again, Rein hammered us a lot of damage. So you need to like at least stand here to like prevent this like Rein from walking straight into your Zarya, right? You don't have to swing. You don't have to hold shield or anything. Like you can swing at him, right? But like don't walk into this room and just stand outside the room and just prevent him from walking out, right? And that way, if your Zarya gets pressured, you're close enough that you can shield her as she runs away, right? Your Zarya's a freak. No sense of self-preservation. She just keeps holding W. But hey, it's working. Again, aggression wins games, especially if they're not good enough to punish it. Part of getting climbing the ladder is like getting good at fundamentals and like making good, sound decisions and stuff like that. And the other half is just getting really good at recognizing when the enemy team is bad at something. Like just like within like a fight or two, or even just like a couple of like small exchanges, like during pokers or something, get like a very accurate read on like the capabilities of your teammates, the capabilities of the enemy players, right? If you're very accurate and fast on this, you can just make decisions that are objectively not good decisions, but are good in the context of the game, right? And like if you're really good at that, that can get around a lot of like poor fundamentals. Like play the people and not play the game, you know? And that works with any competitive game. Even if like you're not very good at the game itself, if you're good at playing people, right? It doesn't matter as much. Although this comes hand in hand that you need to be able to execute what you're doing, so you need to have at least good micro, if not good fundamentals, right? So. Again, like, why are you holding here? Why are you holding shield? Why aren't you hiding behind cart or this corner or this corner, right? Or this corner, right? Like, just pick something and stand behind it, right? Right now you're trying to deal with the high ground while they're pushing cart, right? And now your Zarya's getting left on an island. So I understand this Junkrat is like a concern, but like there's a difference between pushing this to deal with an off angle and walking all the way around here to deal with this off angle, right? So if you're not already set up for this, right, it's too late, right? You can't really address it. This should be like your Zarya's job realistically, but right. So like the problem is, like this is where the fight is happening. This Rein missed a shatter already, and this ball got like a 3-man pile drive, and you're just not even there, right? Like you've given up this corner, right? You've given up this corner. You've given up this corner, right? Like you lost all map control because you just went to go deal with an off angle that you like. Again, you can't really contest. You don't have the time anymore, right? I appreciate the effort to contest it, right? But this was not the time for it. Ooh, this charge is scary. Hey, look, you just hit someone and they died. So, okay, this is why it's important to like get in the habit of like just swinging a lot, because you're coming around this corner and you don't have a swing prepared, right? So if you think about it, Rein has like it takes a second to swing, right? And in that swing, like it takes when you start the swing, it's about like a third to like a quarter of a second before you actually have an active hitbox out, right? So when you walk around corners, you just want to have a swing already going, just in case there's someone around the corner, and you come around the corner and you hit both these people, right? Then you hit another like both these people twice, right? This Ana dies, the soldier's like 1 health, right? And so it's important to have a swing prepared because like having to walk around the corner and then swing is very slow, right? So like when you're walking around the corner, just like I mean honestly, I wouldn't even stop holding M1 while I was walking around this corner, like from like here to here, I wouldn't stop holding M1. But if you're feeling like very like calculated, right? You want to start your swing like as you're getting to this point, and then you walk out with a swing, right? And again, you'll hit both these people, and then your second swing, the like will just straight up kill them basically, right? And this is really important to have it to Rein. But you see how like you don't start the swing with the Ana until you're point blank, right? Until you're point blank, and as a result, right, you die. You just that because it took you so long to get the swing out to get the 2 swings out, essentially, right? That's not you. Anyways, I think I'm out of time. So overall for Rein, pick a position, play it, and like don't like be like stubborn with it, right? Just be fluid, right? So if like you're holding here and decide you want to be up there, don't be afraid to cross, right? But the worst thing you can do is pick no position, right, and play it, right? So you can drift from position to position, right? But it needs to be position to position. It can't just be middle of nowhere, right? Also again, be conservative with your shield, right? You spend a lot of time wasting. This is partly due to the fact that you spend so much time in the middle of nowhere, right? But you're even when you are playing positions, you tend to waste shield, so just keep that in mind. And then also like be more active with your hammer, especially like when like just as a tech, right? When you're walking around corners, just like have a swing going, right? And it makes a really big difference. You'd be surprised how many people you just kill by accident, right? So you just walk around a corner and you turn a corner, like you just turn a corner and there just happens to be a soldier here, and right, and you hit him, and you hit him again, he starts sprinting, you fire strike, and he dies, right? And this happens all the time. You wouldn't believe it at this rank. Um, and yeah. I think those are the major points. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. If you get to this part of the video, DM me what 8 times 4 equals.